If this was football, the 2-minute warning has just sounded, and Terry Bradshaw is leading the Steelers down the field for the winning touchdown. Only 2.5 hours on the water remain in the Super Bowl of bass fishing. This is the stuff legends are made from. Basscenter from Pittsburgh gets down to business now.
It's your living room, it's your TV, but this is my house. If this doesn't work, I'm in trouble today for sure. I've been over the mountain and I've seen the lights. Keeper. That's right. I'm in your house.
Basscenter welcomes you live to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the city of champions. We're at Point State Park. The anglers have just 2.5 hours left on the water, and it's time right now to get her done. The fans have turned out. We're having a grand old time at the 35th Citgo Bassmasters Classic. Hello, everyone. I'm John Kernan, along with Byron Velvick, and this is huge. We've been watching it all morning. It's incredible.
This is it now. It's finally got down to this. These guys are fishing for the final championship Bassmaster Classic, and it's happening now. Only a couple hours left, and it's going to make all the difference in the world right now. These guys can catch 1 or 2 keepers and win this thing.
It's going to come down to ounces, not even pounds. Let's get you caught up on what has happened so far this morning out on the water. 7 o'clock, the launch. 25 of the best bass anglers in the world are out there. Aaron Martin's headed in as the leader, but you know, catching some short fish out there early.
Catching a lot of short fish right now. Aaron is on fish. He caught great numbers in practice. Right now, he is struggling. He has Gerald Swindle and Kevin VanDam fighting with him on all of his spots. I've been tracking him all morning long, and he is really having a hard time just putting a keeper in the boat. And he needs to win the Classic. This would be his first one if he did it.
Oh! No, 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 oh my God, the big one, dude, I saw it.
Oh, man, Davey Height started out the day in 14th place, and you want to talk about somebody who got on the fish early? Davey certainly did that.
Big run early, right off the bat. Seemed like he had just started fishing, maybe 2 hours into it. He already had 3 keepers in the boat.
And Kevin VanDam, he had it in the 3rd position. And remember, I told you about the lucky cookies. He ate them all yesterday morning, had extras brought from home. They seem to be doing the trick.
Look at this, another Classic champion, just like Davey Height. These Classic guys, they've already won the Classic before. They're going for another one. Kevin VanDam smells blood right now. He is on a roll, and he has taken notice that he will not be beat. So it's going to be a tough one all the way around. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. KVD looking for that second one. Gerald Swindle looking for his first Classic win. In fact, his first BASS Tour victory. He won the Angler of the Year in 2004. And I'm telling you what, he is certainly in contention right now.
Do you know this guy caught 37 fish yesterday? Granted, he didn't catch 37 keepers, but he caught 4 keepers, 37 fish in a single day yesterday. Swindle has been dominating this river as far as numbers go. And Swindle right now, more than just like everybody else in the top 5, these guys all know how to win tournaments, and he wants the Classic championship as bad as anybody.
Swindle in the house, but right now it's KVD unofficially on the real-time leaderboard with about 2 hours and 26 minutes remaining on the water. Estimated 12 pounds, 2 ounces, and Swindle is in 2nd place. Aaron Martin's in the 4th position. This is unofficial. And don't forget, you can log on to Bassmaster.com and follow the last couple of hours of the action here at Three Rivers. Of course, we have crews all over the Three Rivers, Ohio, Monongahela, the Allegheny, to keep us up to date on all the big action here in the final round of the 35th Bassmaster Classic. We kick off our coverage on the water with Robbie Floyd.
And you can see I'm rocking around a little board traffic, and that may play a factor to one of our guys who's in one of the upper pools, locking through twice. George Cochran has 4 fish, and I believe I've just got word there may be another angle. I'll let you update on that in just a moment. Now catching 4 fish, but I had Kevin VanDam, Davey Height, and George Cochran all with 4 fish. We've talked about it. Whoever could catch the 5 fish limit, it would come down to that. We're seeing such tight battles, less than a half a pound between our leaders. It's coming down to the wire, and it has happened the past couple of years. That inside that last hour is when we've determined our champion. Aaron Martins has had a difficult time, but it ain't over till it's over, guys.
I tell you what a crazy day on the water. We have seen the leaderboard shuffling around all day, and unofficially, of course, Swindle has taken the lead. He has taken the lead, and I tell you what, there is plenty of time left on the water. That could change. Now, interestingly, today, he caught 2 of his keepers within 15 minutes of each other. So you know how that works. We've seen it happen before. We could see it happen again. Lots of time left on the water. We'll see what happens. Over to Mark Menendez.
It's going to be the closest finish in Classic history. It's going to be so exciting. We've got a couple hours left to fish. They're battling it out right now on the river. Swindle's just jumped back up on top. Kevin's going to be there. It's going to be too hard to call on the end, but I sure know one thing. I'm not going to miss my seat in Mellon Arena this afternoon. John, how about that?
Exactly right. I mean, the weigh-in at 5:30 on ESPN. They said they're going to raise the roof. They're going to blow the roof off of the place. It's going to explode. Look at Gerald Swindle unofficially right now in the lead, estimated at 12 pounds, 12 ounces.
Since the show started, John, since the show has started, he has overtaken Kevin VanDam. That's how fast things are happening right now here at the Classic, and that's why the weigh-in is going to be astronomical, and the roof will be raised.
G-Man in the house, and you know, you had a feeling. It seemed like at the weigh-in last night that he had a feeling that he knew where some fish were out there to get in that boat and to put into his live well.
But you got Aaron Martins, you got George Cochran, you got a lot of guys. Swindle, this is not by any stretch of the imagination over. And right now, what's happening is fish are being caught. We're starting to get a breeze blowing through the park right now. You can feel it. And as the breeze starts to blow and the water churns up, the fish will start biting. This will be a late afternoon bite. They will be catching fish right up to the last minute. And right now, we're starting to see things happen. It will be an exciting last couple hours. I'm telling everybody, you got to watch this weigh-in because this will be a decisive down-to-the-wire deal. Every keeper will make a difference, and guys are climbing up the ladder with every fish, John.
We're not talking pounds. We are talking ounces here to determine the 35th Bassmaster Classic champion who gets that $200,000 prize, but more importantly, bass fishing immortality. Let's go over to the Loudmouth Bass guys, Mark Zona and Jay Kumar. Take it away.
Hey, thanks, John. You know what? We're all glued to the real-time leaderboard here. We spend more time looking down than we do looking up. And we have seen some amazing things today, some big moves up in the standings. If we could take a look at that panel right now.
Check
Do we
this
have
out.
it yet, Z? Who's gone way up?
One of the biggest changes today right now is Gerald Swindle, Davey Height.
All right, look at that.
Man.
Davey Height coming from 30th on day 1, an amazing 5th right now. David Walker, 35th to 13th. George Cochran, 17th to 3rd. Scott Rook goes up 13
This
spots.
is the big
David
one.
Swindle. Marty Stone, he's a little bit down there.
Gerald Swindle's jump has been historic today. I mean, he is right now in contention to win this event, but we've got movers and shakers the other way, my friend.
Yeah, who do we have?
We have Mike Iaconelli. He is in big trouble right now. Believe he is setting on 0 fish. Skeet Reese has 1 fish.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest ones, Aaron Martins, your guy. You said you thought he would win this event.
Yeah.
Struggling with 1 bass.
Well, not just me, also Byron, and Byron made a really good point right here. A fast afternoon bite, and that's going to be key. I want to tell you something right now, everybody. Aaron Martins, 4 of his 5 keepers yesterday after 1:15. It's not even 1 o'clock yet, for crying out loud. But KVD had one big bite after 2 o'clock yesterday.
You're exactly right. And I will tell you right now, Jay, it's the start of the fourth quarter. It is crunch time. Gerald Swindle and Kevin VanDam are blocking the end zone.
Yeah, and let me remind you, again, the last 2 classics, everybody, the last 2 classics have been won in the last 45 minutes or less. It's going to be that tight today.
Guarantee it.
Absolutely.
Back to you, John and Byron.
Oh, man, I'm telling you what, this is just turning out to be incredible. We might even see a tie.
First time ever.
At the end of the day, you never know. Make sure that you watch the weigh-in tonight, 5:30 Eastern on ESPN. Well, the clock is ticking, and the leaderboard seems to be changing practically every minute. Gerald Swindle's atop it right now unofficially. Stay right where you are, because Basscenter from the Super Bowl of bass fishing in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania returns after this.
Basscenter, brought to you by Triton Boats. We take America fishing.
The Bassmaster Classic is where legends are made, and unfortunately, some of the legends, Byron, that were in the tournament to begin with did not make the cut to fish in the final 25 on Sunday, including Rick Clunn.
That's a heartfelt loss, Rick Clunn. A lot of people were rooting for him to have his 5th Classic victory in 5 decades. It was not going to happen here, and at least he's back in it, but I know he's not happy about not fishing today, John.
No, definitely not at all. But one of the legends who is out there on the water is Kevin VanDam. He already has a Bassmaster Classic championship. And you know, a lot of people compare him to Tiger Woods, say he's the Tiger Woods of professional bass fishing, and why not? Because when he's on the fish, he's almost unbeatable. Just like Tiger, when he's on the golf course, virtually no one else can beat him. Now, right now, KVD is among the serious contenders to win the 35th Bassmaster Classic. And Ron Franklin says that's not a bad place to be for a brash kid from Kalamazoo.
23-year-old Kevin VanDam.
Kevin VanDam's rookie year was 91, and he was just a big, tall, lanky kid from Kalamazoo, Michigan, as far as I knew, his first year on the tour.
I've learned not to have an opinion of young, cocky anglers that come on the scene. I've seen a lot of them, and most of them fade away very quickly.
He told Larry Nixon and I one day at our place, he said, I'm going to beat y'all. He said, I'm going to beat you. That's why I'm here. I'm here to beat y'all. Larry looked at me and he said, boy, he's a cocky guy. And I said, yeah. We didn't know how to take him, really, because he was just telling us he was fixing to beat us.
You know, I'm sure a lot of people didn't like me, but it really was, I didn't think of it as I was being cocky or spouting off or anything. I thought of it as, you know, I was just real confident.
You know, he was placing in the money at almost every event that he competed in, and I mean, the kid had a burning desire to dominate this sport.
When I first started out, I had a string of like 23 tournaments in a row where I finished in the money. And, you know, I guess I wasn't real ashamed to tell people about it, but, you know, I didn't know any better. Nobody told me that I shouldn't be able to do well in these tournaments.
Kevin soon found that with success comes expectations. 2001 found Kevin ranked #1 overall in the bass fishing world and headed to his 11th straight classic. That was 10 past classics without a win.
When you're the #1 angler in the world, you don't have to win the classic to prove to everybody that you're a good fisherman.
But still, that's a lot for to fish 10, 11, 12 classics and you still haven't won one. It was getting increasingly more of a burden to him, and it was growing like this little monster every year. It got to the point where I was getting pretty down about the classics. And on top of that, you know, the media is like, well, you know, he's probably one of the best fishermen to never win a classic.
He was the best fisherman ever to have won a major at that point. Kind of the fishing version of David Duval in golf.
Final day of the 2001 Citgo Bassmaster Classic, David Walker and Kevin VanDam were within an ounce of each other. This was Kevin's last chance to get the monkey off his back.
Kevin VanDam.
VanDam had pretty much had the entire Superdome going for him on that last day.
I mean, I'm kind of supposed to stay over on the side. Well, I couldn't stand to wait. I kind of snuck over there and looked at the scale, and I saw it. I mean, you can see from the expression that I had, it wasn't staged.
10-13.
Kevin VanDam is your classic champion. He's done it. He did it.
In a relatively short career, Kevin VanDam just became the total package.
Kevin VanDam certainly hoping to get his second Bassmaster Classic Championship. Byron, if he does come through this afternoon at the weigh-in at 5:30 on ESPN, that'll make it 5 men who have won 2 or more Classics. Let's look at the unofficial update on the real-time leaderboard. Gerald Swindle still hanging in there on top.
Andre Moore's there, the whole 9 yards. But right now, the real problem is that Aaron Martins has 1 fish. Swindle, VanDam, Cochran, and Davey Height have all caught 4. Aaron is surrounded by 4s, and he is right now struggling to get his second.
Well, let's go out to the water for another update. Here's Robbie Floyd.
I want to update everybody that's not in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It is smoking hot. It's African hot. Tarzan could not stand this heat out here right now. But I want to give you a little 411 on Gerald Swindle. His first fish came at 7:28. After that, his crankbait was having difficulties. He realized that about 3 hours into it. He made a hook change and also a little eyelet change. It was not running right. And he said, I quote, "If I get this thing running right, I'm going to win this thing." And obviously, he's caught 3 fish since then. He's still looking for that 5th bass. Now, if he is able to win this Citgo Bassmaster Classic, he would be one of 8 anglers to do so as their only win. But he's not wanting to make it his only win. He's wanting to make it his first win of many. Let's go to Kim Bain.
Woo, you got it right, Robbie. It is cooking out here. And hey, I've got a little piece of information for you about George Cochran, which you'll find very interesting. Now, when he won the Classic in 1987, his strategy was to stay close to the launch site, close to where they took off. In this tournament, he is furthest away from our unofficial current leader, Gerald Swindle. So he has gone 2 locks through. He is a long way away. And you know what's interesting about that? Swindle quoted to me that an angler that goes through the locks, it could put a big knife in their plan. So that's interesting. Just goes to show how important time management is in this tournament. Over to you, John.
Thank you, Kim. And speaking of time management and time in general, about 2 hours and 11 minutes, all that remains. I mean, the drama out there is just incredible. You're talking about the early afternoon bite. It is just incredible what's going on out there on the water. The final day of the 35th Bassmaster Classic, the Super Bowl of bass fishing, and Davey Height out there on the water. He's in the top 5 right now. He's trying to continue his climb up the leaderboard after starting the day in 14th place. That's how quickly things can change right here. We'll be back to Pittsburgh with more Basscenter after this.
Oh, sorry. Wrong locker. Hey, I've seen that one before. You're still using that one, huh? Whoa, that's a new one. Yeah. Too late. I saw it, so, that's not gonna work.
The competition is wild. The Citgo Bassmaster Classic, presented by Mercury, tonight at 5:30 p.m. on ESPN.
Country superstar Kenny Chesney was in town last night, but right now, the 35th Bassmaster Classic is the biggest and most important show in town. The big show.
It's almost over,
I know, 2 hours, 8 minutes. This is a look at the unofficial leaderboard, and Gerald Swindle continues to hang on to the top spot.
It's changing so fast. Who's to say what's going to happen in the next 20 minutes, 10 minutes, even 5 minutes? It's going to happen. It'll all be done in 2 hours. Let's just see how it unfolds.
Hey, we may not know, but I know a couple of guys who think they probably
They always know.
They always
know
think
everything.
They know. Let's go to the Loudmouth Bass guys, Mark Zone and Jay Kumar.
Hey, what don't we know? Come on now.
This is coming down to the closest classic ever.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
I'll tell you, it will come down to 1 fish, everybody, 1 fish. And let me tell you right now who could win with 1 fish. Obviously, Swindle, Gerald Swindle. He is in the unofficial lead right now. Kevin VanDam right behind him. George Cochran right behind him. Aaron Martins, though, is taking himself out. He either needs a real big fish or to get closer to that limit of 5. He's only got 1 right now.
You're also talking about 1 fish could win it if a guy catches it.
Yeah.
If a guy loses a fish right now, that could lose it for him.
Yeah, you're exactly
right. And
right.
something is sticking in my head from this morning. We spoke about it on the show.
Was it that biscuit?
It is not that biscuit. these are all unofficial standings right now. We have no idea how close it is at the top. Kevin VanDam had a dead bass yesterday that cost him 4 ounces. And right now, in my head, that is looming as one of the biggest things in this tournament right now.
You know what it is, but if he catches one more fish, he's done all he can do today. One more keeper on
You're exactly right. I'm going to tell you what, that bass in his hands right there could end up being the classic winning or losing fish. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, and I would hate to see it come down to that. That's so unfortunate.
Me too. John and Byron, back to you guys.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, he lost 4 ounces right there. It is just incredible.
That's it, you know, and I have a thought too. Also, Aaron Martins let a fish go that he didn't feel was a keeper yesterday. My pick might be a big story also, like Zona's got his. I'm thinking you let go of fish that's not a keeper that you think might be a keeper, and you lose that precious 12 or 14 ounces in this event, that may cost you the Bassmaster Classic Championship. That could also be a major turning point in this event.
$200,000 up for grabs this morning. 25 of the best anglers, bass anglers in the world launched to take their shot at fishing, bass fishing immortality. When Basscenter from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the Bassmaster Classic returns, we'll talk about predictions.
Hey!
Maybe Byron will have a new one.
I'm still going with Aaron. Aaron to win, no doubt in my mind, folks.
We'll be right back.
Highlight of your career?
Well, without a doubt, it's winning the Angler of the Year.
Bass?
Well, it took a few tries, but last year I fit a whole turtle in my mouth.
The Citgo Bassmaster Classic, tonight at 5:30 p.m. on ESPN.
It is just an absolutely beautiful day for the final round of the 35th Citgo Bassmaster Classic, the Super Bowl of bass fishing taking place right here at Three Rivers, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, before we close, we're going to go back out on the water for some updates. We begin with Robbie Floyd. Robbie?
Well, I still can't emphasize enough how close it's going to be when it comes weigh-in time. They've got, a little right around 2 hours right now, but the year 1997, the closest victory ever, 1 ounce by Dion Hibden. He actually probably should not have won that event. Dalton Bobo had 1 expired fish, a 4-ounce penalty, dropped him down those 4 ounces, and that was the 1 ounce difference. We could have the same thing here today. It's a lot of what-ifs out there, and one of the what-ifs is Aaron Martins in yesterday, Kim.
That's right, Robbie. Aaron Martins yesterday released what we believe was a 12-inch bass. Now, these guys have strict rules. It's got to be 12 inches for them to bring it in, and he wasn't sure, so he let it go. Hopefully that doesn't cost him the tournament. Now, thoughts today, it is so close. I don't even want to make a call here. One thing I'm worried about, George Cochran all the way through 2 locks. He really needs to start making his way back and maybe start fishing close just to be comfortable. Over to the loudmouth guys.
Right now, I want your call. Who is going to be the champion in a couple hours? Do it.
Oh, man, I don't know. I'm with Kim. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to go with Gerald Swindle.
Whoa!
Here. He said that little piece of advice or insight Robbie had, if he gets that crankbait running right, he's going to win this thing. I'm believing him right there.
You know what? I do not bet against the New England Patriots anymore, and I do not bet against Kevin VanDam. He is my guy.
He's a gamer.
He craves the big game situation. The next 2 hours are the big game. That's my guy. Back to you guys, John and Byron.
All right, we'll give our predictions in just a moment, but one of the guys who's been
Let me give it now.
No, we got to wait for just a moment. We want to go back out and hear from Gerald Swindle, one of the guys who has a legitimate shot at winning the Bassmaster Classic.
Phone a friend right now. Is there any way y'all can let me phone a friend? Use a lifeline here. A brother's a little confused about exactly what to do. 50-50. Let's go to the audience and poll. Does G lock up? Does G stay down? Byron and Shaw, if y'all are up there and y'all listening, send a smoke signal up or something. Brother got to make a commitment right here.
What would you tell him right now?
I'm not going to help Gerald. I got my pick. I'm going to make it quick. Aaron Martins has 1 fish. Everybody ahead of him has 4 fish, and that's not going to be it. What I'm telling you right now is that everybody else has 4 fish. Aaron has 1 fish, and he's only 2 pounds and change above those guys. So what I'm saying right now is every fish he catches, he's going to move up.
As we look at the unofficial real-time leaderboard, I'm going with Kevin VanDam because he has that full supply of lucky cookies. We hope you have enjoyed our coverage here at Basscenter at the 35th Bassmaster Classic. The weigh-in at 5:30 on ESPN. So long, everybody.